Hi everyone, this is Stephen Elwell, Partner and Vice President at Level Financial Advisors with your second quarter 2018 market update. It overall was a good quarter. The U.S. stock market marched upwards in April, May, and in June, although there was some divergence in different asset classes. So let's get right into it. So the U.S. stock market was up about 3.89% for the quarter. International developed stocks were down about 0.75%, and emerging market stocks really pulled back pretty significantly, down almost 8% for the quarter. Meanwhile, global real estate rebounded very nicely from the first quarter to be up about 6% here in the second quarter. The U.S. bond market was just slightly down about 0.1%, and the global bond market was actually up a little bit. We did see the Federal Reserve raise interest rates 0.25% back in June. So it looks like some banks are actually finally starting to pay some interest. So keep that in mind as you look at your savings accounts wherever they're held. If we dive a little deeper, the big winners for the second quarter were U.S. real estate, publicly traded real estate companies, U.S. small value stocks, U.S. small stocks in general. And U.S. large stocks and large growth stocks did well. U.S. large value stocks underperformed a little bit compared to the S&P 500. But again, the big losers of the second quarter was mainly international stocks and most specifically emerging markets. One has to believe that some of the tariff talk in the second quarter is really what drove a lot of that. As we look at the economy as a whole, the S&P 500's earnings per share, when you look backwards, really is pretty much at all-time highs, looking really good. Profit margins look better than they have by far in recent quarters. Some of that coming from the current corporate tax cut that we just got last fall, right in December. And in the long run, it's part of the worry that comes with that as the economy starts to get a little overheated, but the Federal Reserve seems pretty committed to raising interest rates. They're expecting potentially 2 more rate increases here before the end of the year. Seems very likely that we'll get at least 1, and depending on how well the economy does, there might actually be 2. When you look at overall valuations, things in the U.S. look pretty close to what their 25-year historical average is, maybe a little bit expensive relative to the average, just a smidge. The real values out there, at least according to price-to-earnings ratios, appear to be international stocks and emerging market stocks. And generally over time, you kind of see things come in and out of favor, and big U.S. stocks really have been the leader over the last couple of years, although last year international stocks did quite well. But it wouldn't be surprising to see a rebound on the international stock side and the emerging market stock side. Big picture, if you have a diversified portfolio, you're probably feeling sort of ho-hum about the first half of 2018, as most portfolios are flat to slightly positive, depending on the level of risk that you're taking. But that's okay. That's exactly what you're supposed to expect from a diversified portfolio, is that you'll have some big winners each quarter and you'll have some losers each quarter. And because you cannot predict which will win and which will lose in advance, your best bet is to hold and stick with a diversified portfolio. And over a long period of time, that shows to be a really good strategy. So we're still confident that that's the appropriate move for most investors. So this has been your second quarter 2018 market recap. Please, if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to give us a call or shoot us an email, or if you just want to talk about the markets in general. I'm Stephen Elwell, again, Vice President and Partner at Level Financial Advisors, and I look forward to talking to you next quarter.